Solar pros. Everyone is talking about lead generation, everyone is talking about sales, yet so few people are talking about actual lead nurturing. And so we do forget that lead nurturing many times is the heaviest lifter in every single sales funnel that you can have. And what is lead nurturing? When you are generating a lead with Facebook ads or when you're cold calling someone, where you're knocking, up until the point where you are actually able to sit with that person, whether it's an in-home state or a virtual one, you have many steps and the road is long. It's not just like, hey, I'm generating a lead, I'm good, that person will surely be a fit. No, there are many steps, which is called lead nurturing, that you have to actually go through in order for you to be able to sit down with that person. And not just to be able to sit down with that person, but for you to know that you're actually sitting down with the proper person. And so here's how this thing works. So obviously, first there is lead generation. And lead generation is just finding someone who is interested or potentially can be interested in your services, or in this case, solar installation or solar. Um, and so after that, the lead nurturing process begins. And so, me personally, we are setting the lead nurturing process inside of the company. From generating a lead up until the point that the appointment shows. So basically, between these two, all the steps are actually considered as lead nurturing. So these steps are um, the lead nurturing steps. So lead generation. This is obviously step number one. The second one, qualifying a lead. Third one, being able to connect with the lead. So it's not enough to have someone who is qualified, someone who is good, but you also have to be able to connect with them. So they are picking up the phone, they are texting back on your SMS, so on and so forth. Oh, and if all they are good, then in the fourth step, we can actually go ahead and set up an appointment with them. And so just because we have an appointment set with them, it doesn't mean that they show, which will be the fifth step. And so just only if we have all these five steps met, we can only sit down with the meet and we can only close them. Can you see this? And these are many steps. And most of the people do forget about it. It's like, hey bro, yeah, I have leads. Leads are nothing, brother. Solar leads are easy. Solar sales is not rocket science either. Solar lead nurturing, not easy. This is why there are so many lead companies out there. This is why there are so many people who are offering cold calling services, so many people out there who are offering Facebook ad services. Most of these people don't actually understand the funnel, don't actually understand how solar is being sold. They don't understand, they are not talking with the customers actually. And so if you're not talking with the customers actively and you don't understand the process, whether it be that you're a marketer, whether it be that you are a solar professional, it doesn't matter. You have to understand the whole acquisition channel in order for you to be able to generate the best results. And so this is also theory behind it. So think about it. If there is someone who actually understands solar marketing, solar lead nurturing, and also solar sales, and also the installation and all the good stuff, then he's killing it. He's the king of solar. Perhaps he's making enough money not to watch these videos, though. But anyways, the more parts of the process you understand and you know, the better you're becoming. And so this is what this whole journey is all about. And for the marketers, most of they just don't understand the sales process. And unfortunately, they don't really understand the lead nurturing process either. For sales guys, most of them are just they just simply don't understand marketing. And so solar and people who actually understand both the marketing, both the sales, they are running the solar sales organizations. Yeah. So um, what I would like to emphasize here is solar lead nurturing, which could be also part of sales or could be also part of lead generation. But this thing in the middle is the actual this is the brick wall. Okay, this is the brick wall. And so how we are doing that is super simple, super easy. But you actually have to understand the process and break them down and do every single step properly because this is the longest process, by the way. Generating the lead is they're just knocking in your door and they are a lead already. But bringing them to an actual show, that is 5 steps again. So without me repeating myself and actually cutting right to the chase, this is how we are operating when we are actually generating leads online, which are not cold calling leads, but actually coming on throughout any online channel, and we are setting up an appointment with them. So initially, we are generating a new lead. And so after we've been able to generate a new lead, then we are making sure they're qualified. And so most of the times we have automatization in place. But what is happening is that um, these automatizations are not enough many times because we see that we have a lead who actually didn't really fill out the actual qualifying form, but they're still a lead. And so many times it happens that they are just busy. They just simply didn't have the time to fill out that form and they just didn't want or something. But they could be qualified manually. And so this is the idea. How we are building up every single funnel is to squeeze out the gym cell, brother. So if we have a lead who's interested, first we are collecting the lead, making sure that we are collecting everyone who we can. And after that, we are making sure that we are qualifying everyone as we can. So obviously we have an automatization, which will be filling out a form on the website. And the second one will be that, hey, we are calling them up. Manuel, hey, brother, you've been interested in solar. Uh, did you know you're obviously bringing value on the call? Hey, did you know that you can go solar without pretty much $0 out of pocket? You also have government incentives. Not just only that, but you're also serving a good case, actually saving the planet, so on and so forth. I'm not primarily a solo salesperson. I'm not too experienced in that. I had some calls, but I'm in marketing and lead nurturing, and also I understand the fulfillment. But that's a different side. So sales for me in solar, I mean closing especially, is not my specialty. Um, and so okay, now from here on, now that we've been able to book a call with them, either manually, either they automatically came to our funnel. Now we have to make sure, let's just calm that down, that they show. So how we do that? And so this is the other thing. So now that we've been able to book an appointment with someone, we have to make that they will show. The best way ever if we actually call them. It's like, hey, tomorrow we'll meet. Will you show? Yes. Also, there is another part. By the way, I try to actually differentiate the automatization from the manual actions. And so in this regard, the automatization would be that we are actually putting the leads or the appointments already on a nurturing sequence where we are actually sending them an SMS that, hey, brother, tomorrow we'll have a meet at 6 p.m. And we will be talking solar. Is that a wrong time for you? And the actual idea is that we are not over pushing it. So these are the rules for lead nurturing. So basically, these are the rules for the show campaigns, whatever you're using. First, not over pushing. Don't send free freaking notifications 24 hours before. Excuse me, 84 hours before. 24 hours before. 2 hours before. 6 minutes before. No, people will get like just think about it. Like someone, hey, in 2 days we'll meet. Hey, in one day we'll meet. Hey, it's needed. People don't like that. People don't, and I'm talking from saying we lost so many deals because of this. It's like don't do that. They like to do that, although you have to do that because otherwise people just forget. But the best way how you can do that is that when you're scheduling an appointment with someone, most likely they have the free time over there. They have free time at the time when you schedule. And so at that point, what you can do is that one thing that works very, very good is send them an SMS 5 minutes before. But if you like to be like super, super good, super, super precise, send them an SMS an hour before and call them if they do not respond, call them 5 minutes before. If they do not even pick up the call in 5 minutes, send them another SMS. It should be their name. And after that, if they still don't pick up, then try to call them right at the precise time. If they don't pick up for the first time, two times. And after that, you can also send an FS and hey, we just wanted to reschedule and so on and so forth. So this is how you're attacking, okay? So you're still shooting off your shots, but it's not like, hey, we'll have. No one gives you hands. Like if it's either on my calendar and I'm aware of that, and I will forget about that, or it's either on my calendar and I'm aware of that and I will not forget about that. And so the idea is that if you are, we just have a reverse effect. So it's not like, hey, they will know better that they will have to show on that meeting because they've been notified a trillion times. Nope, doesn't work like that. Although you're supposed to be shooting your shots, but this is how you're supposed to be approaching them. Use the SMS, use the text and the call game. So this is how to do. Again, an hour before that, you send an SMS. Hey, is this? And you're asking for the name. Most likely they will answer, and from there on you will actually ask that will can you call them in 1 hour? Most of the time this works super simple like this. If they do not answer, call them about 5 minutes before the call. If they do not answer for that call either, then you actually can send them an SMS, which is super, super important to be a question. Don't just like send them, hey, we meet tomorrow, we meet at 8. It's like, okay, keep the conversation open, keep the conversation forward. You have to ask a question. After you've been able to ask a question, you go ahead and you make sure that actually, if they do not pick up the phone, you're calling them again in 10 minutes, right precisely in the meet, and just double tap them, like call them two times. And so this is the idea when you're doing call only. Although what you're supposed to be doing, also make sure that you're always in the Google Meet at least 5 minutes before, or Zoom link or whatever that might be, because that might be the case that they just show and you're not there and they just leave, and that's it. Many many times they're not even using their phones. So you have to shoot all your shots. You have to be on point. You have to be all precise and all in shape with all these things. So with that being said, this was predominantly for virtuals, and this funnel is predominantly for virtuals too. And pretty much the same. You don't have to do this so much with the in-home sits. Yes, you also have to, like before you're leaving, you definitely call them and you definitely send them an SMS. Otherwise, if you're not confirmed, I don't know what you're doing if you're not, reconfirming your sits. It's just like waste of time, waste of energy, waste of everything. If you're not reconfirming your sits 1 hour before, you're losing, you're losing potential. It's just you're a fool. Sorry about that. You're a fool. And so this is how we're making actually someone for booking to show. And can you see it? Like how many actions do you have to actually take? Because yes, there are many times when they are just simply sending an SMS. But yes, there are many times when you have to call them like actually 3 times and send them 2 SMSs just in order for them to actually show on the phone. And so some other, I would like to share this thing with you also. Um, there is something which is super, super great. You are supposed to be educating your clients or your leads before the conversation, before the call. The best thing that you can do is send them a video about what will happen from the call. And so if you can have someone who actually saw the video, then they're halfway sold. They're just pretty much on the call to actually for you to show them the prices. And this is basically what we do within the agency for our internal lead generation. And this is what we are building up to all of our clients. So we are like, hey, you're just shooting like a 10, 15 minute long video, and you're just simply sending it to the solar professionals. Excuse me, for the homeowners. And if the homeowner watches that video, super high intent, super educated, ready to freaking close. It's like, period. And not only that, but you can also use that as an asset. So that's an asset, by the way, a digital asset, sales asset. And so, with that being said, that's also a bonus step, which I'm highly, highly recommending if you're already doing all these things that I just mentioned to you. Because if you're sending an email to them instead of "Hey, we'll meet in 24 hours," instead of "Hey," this is exactly how the incentive system works. Or you're sending them a video about "Hey." And you're explaining every single thing in one video. That's the best because like you're just putting them so much information at your end and so much it's like boom. And what and the approach again, it's not like you shouldn't supposed to be sending them show emails, but the emails instead of having or the SMSs instead of like, hey, can we see each other in 10 minutes? No, they're supposed to be all about values. Like this is how we do that, brother. Like this is how you're actually able to say it. Like this is the video, and it shouldn't supposed to be from someone. It should supposed to be you because that will be breathing of the trust. So this is how we can build up a funnel that can eventually make sure can um, can help you to actually have someone who opts in and pretty much automatically by the other end comes in showing on your meet, ready with their questions, and you can just hop on the price in 10 minutes and close them. I mean, I'm not closing solar sales, but I'm closing our agency clients with this method. And I wouldn't even say I'm closing, I'm just like telling them the price to our service. Because they are sold already. They're sold already. Bro, like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I need to actually have deals on my calendar. I need appointments for my calendar, brother. This is exactly what I need. I'm like, bro, this is the price. Where can I sign? It's easy. It's easy because they exactly know what will happen. They trust me. They also see my testimonials. They are just like, bro, I'm ready to go. It's like, what are the prices? They're just only hopping on the call. So this is how you can actually trick the game, and this is how you can build a better and better and better and better and better and better process. Because again, if you're improving, and think about that. So if you have a system, this is also system theory in some regard. So if you have a system that actually consists of let's say 10 parts, okay, and at every single part you can have 3% chance that the system goes wrong. If you have a system that contains 10 steps, and at every single step, you can have 3% chance that something goes wrong, versus you have a system that is like 2 steps. With a 2-step process, you have 97% that the actual system will work out, which is pretty good. With the second one, you have only 71%. And I've done this math, I think, a month ago, so I'm not sure if it's 71% or 73%. But it's damn freaking 70%. It's like 27, yeah, to 20, more than 25% lower. So it's like quarter of the actual efficiency. And so since we have many, many steps here, since we have 5 steps here, if you're screwing up only 3% everywhere, like you're just losing 25 out of every 100 leads. Out of every 100 leads, you're losing 25 just by screwing up. And yeah, this is not a 10-step process, but let's say 5%, and 5% will exactly add up to that. So if you're just screwing up 5% at every single field, at every single part of this funnel, then you will actually end up losing 1/4 of your customers, 25 leads out of 1,250 leads. How many closes are there? With the 6% industry average, many closes, brother, many closes. Do the math for yourself. And so this is why. And by the way, the exact reverse method also works. So it's like, hey, we have a 6 steps process. If you are improving all 6 steps of that process, we can actually get better. So just improve all steps by 10%. So if you're adding up those steps, that will be so the math is not that it will be 70%, but it will be way, 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 way better. Let me do the math over here. So it is not just adding in, but I'll be doing the math super quickly for you, okay? Hey, brother, what is happening with you? So it will be one, three, 4, 5. With 5 steps, if every single part or every single step of this process is improved by 1%, or excuse me, 10%, That is 60% better. Instead of closing 10 deals, you're closing 16, six additional deals. How much better is that, brother? And if you're improving every single step by 25%, then I do not even want to do the math for that, honestly. It's like disgustingly better. Disgustingly better. One, two, uh, two, three, four, 3 times better. Okay, so that's it. Instead of closing 10 deals, you're closing fucking 30. Like, can you like this is the math, and most people just don't understand that the actual gains will be in the actual nuances. And so at this point, I hope that you understand that I'm not just here in front of a few diagrams over here talking 20 minutes about you about something. This is how the game works. This is what separates the fucking bass who are killing it with swords from the people who cannot close the deal. Because this is what they do. They are making sure that they are getting the best leads. They are making sure that they are not lying on social media wherever they are getting the leads. And after they got the leads, they're doing 120%. They are calling the leads automatically at that very freaking moment. Manually calling the leads, whether they filled out the form or not. They're just calling up the freaking leads immediately as soon as they popped in. By the way, you can set up a Zapier automatization, but it's like super super easy. I can also help you with that. And they're making sure that if they book, they have a killer show sequence. They're not only that they will be bombarding with that value with a 10 to 15 minute long video about, hey, this is what we do, this is how you will be benefiting from the call, this is what will happen. Not only that, but they will also make sure that they have a show sequence in place which have been tested manually first. They are not over pushing with the phone. They are using the text and the phone game. They are also improving the book process, and after they've been able to book, they improve the show process. And also the last thing that I didn't talk about earlier is the reschedule. If someone doesn't show, they will not cry. They will be actually making sure that they will doing every single thing. They will putting them out on an automated sequence to actually make them show. And if they do not show that way either, they'll be making them hop on a manual call. They'll be calling them. They'll be just following up with them because they do understand that there are many customers out there who are freaking busy. And so up until the point that they don't reach their goal. And so these are the 25%, brothers. And how much better we can talk about it. So just simply think about it. If you have 10 leads, and out of those 10 leads, you're just like you're taking the laziest approach. Hey man, I've been only talking with the leads who gone through my funnel perfectly. You have one fucking best case scenario, you will have one fucking sit. Out of those people, even 5 of them are not even qualified. Or let's say 4 of them. Out of those 4 people, 3 will not even pick up the phone. Out of those 3 people who do pick up the phone, you will not be able to book an appointment with them. Or if you book an appointment with them, they will not show. It's like you're less than 1%. But if you're generating good leads, you're making sure that you're already bringing qualified leads. You're actually making sure that you're doing everything so therefore you can book with them. So you're just doing the 25%. You're ending up with 3 calls instead of one, 10 calls instead of 30 calls instead of 10, 30 closes instead of 3. Can you understand this? This is and you are looking for the best lead provider out there. You're looking for the new method out there. Facebook leads doesn't work. YouTube leads doesn't work. Cold calling doesn't work. All these lead gen companies doesn't work. They don't fucking work. Understand this because you just simply don't do the lead nurturing process, which is the actual lever between a lead and the closed deal. It's not the lead. It's not the lead. A lead is just a lead. He has nothing to do with that. It's your ability or your third party's ability to actually nurture that lead to an actual show is where the game is played. That's the biggest part of the game. That's the biggest part of the game. And instead of blaming the lead gen agency, just go ahead and ask this. Tell me about your lead nurturing process. How are you vetting these leads? And this is not enough to just, hey, we are asking them whether they have a proper roof. We're also checking them on Google Maps or Google Earth, and we are asking for their credit score, and we are asking if they're a homeowner. Bro, no, it's like just no, it's like what are you talking about? No, how you're booking those appointments, how you're educating those guys, how you're making sure that they show, do. So this is how the game is played. And so it might seem that I'm just talking nonsense for 25 minutes, but if you don't understand this, that you will lose. You will lose. And instead of like just think about it. You're spending, let's say, 5k a month on leads. Your agency is able to bring you in, let's say, 75 leads, or let's just play with other numbers. Excuse me, with Arnold numbers. Let's say. 100. Excuse me, even numbers. Sorry about this. I'm a bit tired. It's like super late in the night, Saturday. Let's say 100 leads. Out of those 100 leads, when you're actually there and you're spending that money, for me at least, it matters a freaking lot whether I'm closing one or two deals or 5 to 6 deals. Can you understand the difference? Making even back the money, like barely making back the money and maybe paying for the next month, versus 6xing your money every single month. This is the difference. This is the difference, and this is when everyone's like offering leads. Yes, everyone's offering leads, but who the freaking hell is offering lead nurturing? That's the problem. And I'm not talking about the go high level optimization. I'm talking about an actual process which is bulletproof. When go high level doesn't work, you freaking have the crew who manually calls. It is like squeezes all the juice out there from every single lead. This is how you are able to actually win. And if you're working with someone who's not helping you with this, just don't even start that. Don't even start. It's like, what are you thinking? No, leads will be garbage. And I'm not blaming you for you not understanding this part because this is mostly, I would say, closer to marketing. Closing is like you're saying that's like closing. That's it. So when you're choosing a partner, brothers and sisters, choose one who actually knows what the freaking hell they're talking about. And if they're talking about leads and ads, everyone can do that. Everyone can do that. My 16-year-old cousin can do that. Perhaps he's even doing that. My my newborn daughter. I do not have a daughter, but she could learn that super fast. Like setting up leads is easy. It's not that hard. This is where the game is on. Like this thing here. Lead nurturing and educating the prospect. And again, it's like just understand the process. And don't blame the lead providers. The lead provider is good, but they're just lead providers. Blame yourself for first not opting in with someone who actually offers you lead nurturing services. And secondly, you don't know lead nurturing. Leads are good. Leads are just leads. A lead is not qualified. A lead is not even qualified. They're just like, hey, I'm interested. I might have a 1,000-year-old roof with six like 80 foot tall trees in the way. It's like zero sun exposure. But I'm interested in solar, but they're not qualified. Can you understand it? Um, and so, excuse me if I might seem a bit emotional about this, but I do believe that I'm just hopping on so many calls with solar pros, and it is just so annoying that there's just so much buzz out there in the marketplace, and everyone is selling leads, but they just so much don't understand this. They're like teenagers who just learn from Facebook learn from YouTube how to run Facebook, which is fine. This was me, by the way, like more than 5 years back. But they just don't understand the process. Most lead generation companies they just don't understand the product. They don't care. And your best shot if you're choosing someone who understands and gets a clue about the lead nurturing process, or you're learning it for yourself. Because it doesn't matter at the end of the day if you're paying 5K for a service, if you're only barely making it, or you're tripling your money or 6xing your money. So with that being said, I hope that this makes sense. I hope that this clarifies an answer. I hope that this clarifies many things inside of you, and you will have an objective understanding about the lead gen space, the agency, and what to expect. And with that being said, I wish you the best luck to actually be able to figure out your lead gen and also your lead nurturing. We are always here. You can ask questions. You can book a call with me. I'm happy to help. We are also offering complete lead generation and lead nurturing services up until the point where they are appointments, not just appointments, they are shows. And if they don't show, we reschedule them. Um, and so, with that being said, if you need help with that, then we are here and don't hesitate to reach out. Any questions, comment, reach out to me, whatever suits you the better. So, with that being said, I hope you found value in this and see you in the next one.